and welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel. And we are back for the second part of Blind Reaction, Confusion, Contradiction, and Anger. So we are 6 minutes into this TED Talk, or not TED Talk, TEDx Talk, given by this lady, Annie Brady, who is blind. And we left off where she is beginning to talk about what would happen if she could fix her eyesight. And she emphatically told us near the end of last week's video that she was not broken, because apparently someone said she was. But we are in for the long haul, everyone. This is the last about 12 minutes of this podcast, so let's see if we can get through this. Let's go. Jump back in with me, ladies and gentlemen.
Play. When my computer freezes and I can't read the screen to fix it. When I spend 2 hours on public transportation getting home from work, a 20-minute drive by car. When a guy I like tells me I'm cute for a blind girl. When I'm tired of struggling, tired of explaining how I do the simplest things over and over and over again, tired of being your inspiration porn or the object of your pity party. But it's always been just a thought.
Play. Okay, there's a lot to unpack there. So she's talking about when she has the thought of maybe if I want to see again, when her computer screen freezes and there's no one there to help her. Yeah, you know what? That's frustrating. I'm with you there. When she says, when I spend 2 hours on public transport to get home from work, a 20-minute drive by car. Yeah, that's not a blind problem, honey. That's a people who can't afford to have a car problem. There are plenty of sighted people who live 20 minutes from their work by car but can't afford a car, so they take the bus and they're sitting there for 2 hours and they're going, God fucking damn it, I really wish I could drive. I know it's not the same thing, but you can't. That's not just a blind problem. And then when a guy you really like says, "You seem cute for a blind girl," again, X to doubt on that. X to doubt. I'm sorry. And you know what? That's something that you file under the laugh with your friends for later, because would you really want to go out with that person anyway if they were ignorant enough to say something like that? Like, doesn't that expose their character to you? And then you'd be like, oh, I can move on from this person. They're clearly ignorant and say things that are ridiculous. Like, why must you shrivel up into a ball of as you literally just said after, pity party. You just say, I don't want to be somebody's pity party, but 10 seconds before that statement left your mouth, you were almost in tears over this imaginary cute guy saying you were cute for a blind person. Here's the contradiction, ladies and gentlemen. And then you start screaming about you're tired of explaining how you do the simplest tasks over and over again. And every time you say over and over again, you're doing this weird growly thing that 5-year-olds do when they throw temper tantrums. My son does that. You know why people ask how we do the simplest tasks? Because they can't imagine doing them. Again, it is can you close your eyes right now as a blind person and conjure up what it would be to see at all? Like, logically you would know, cognitively you would know, but in reality, no. A blind person who's been blind from birth or close to it, like me, is not going to be able to actually imagine sight and how things will be done with sight. So how in the hell can we imagine a sighted person to just be like, "Oh, that's how they do things like that." Are we so sighted people have to be clairvoyant now for you to be happy with them, Miss Brady, is what you're saying. Carry on.
Play.
The life spent dwelling on what you can't have isn't much of a life, and gaining sight was never within the realm of possibility for me. Until one day, it was. Scrolling through my Facebook feed, I came across a CBS News article about Luxturna. It's an FDA-approved gene therapy designed to give usable sight to people with retinal diseases. For the low price of $450,000 per eye.
Pause.
Yes, because it's gene therapy. Gene therapy is expensive. I'm sorry. Does it suck? Yes. Would you want cheap gene therapy? Like, cheap as in, the quality? Like, there's a reason stuff like this is expensive. It takes millions of dollars of research, millions of dollars of trials, millions of dollars of jumping through FDA hoops. You just said it was FDA approved. You realize that costs money. Sorry, I'm getting excited and banging my desk. But you know what? And it really sucks. That's why you look for insurance companies that, if you truly want it, you look for an insurance company that could help you. I understand. It's frustrating. Okay? But if you look at somebody like me, the only option that is even remotely possible for me is something like the bionic eye or the camera eye. But I still need a retina for that. And those are god-awful expensive. And those have a way higher mortality rate. This is chancy stuff you're dealing with. Of course it's expensive. What do you expect? I'm sorry, it sucks, but come on. Do you want stuff like that to be like stupidly cheap? Because then you're not going to have the same guidelines on making sure that it's safe, because those cost money. Like, do people not even think?
Play.
But one of the diseases on the list, Leber's congenital amaurosis, also known as the reason I'm blind. That had never happened before. None of the groundbreaking blindness research had ever applied to me. One line from the article from Misty Lovelace, a Luxturna recipient, caught my attention. She said, "One of the best things I've ever seen since the surgery are the stars." Now, I've lived my entire life without seeing the stars and been completely fine. But suddenly, for 1 second, I wanted to see them. Wanted it with an ache so powerful it stole the breath from my lungs.
Pause.
And you know what? This is one that I am not going to rip on her for, because there are similar situations that I've been like that. Somebody once said to me, "Oh, man, this sunset is really beautiful. I wish that I could describe it to you." And I was like, yeah, well, I wish I could see it. And that made me sad. When my kids were born, right? Yeah, I could touch their faces and stuff, but I couldn't look at them. I couldn't look into their eyes. Like when I was getting the ultrasounds done for them, I couldn't look at them and see them. And that really sucks. It really sucks. It really sucks when the ultrasound technician thinks that when you're saying, "Hey, can you tell me what my baby looks like?" that you mean, "Hey, can you discuss the results with me?" Because they sit there and they go, "Oh no, I can't discuss the results of this test with you." And you keep going, "I'm not asking you to. I'm asking you to describe my baby." "Oh, well, I can't discuss the results with you, but I'm not asking you to. Just tell me what my baby looks like." You know what, Annie? I feel you on this one. Okay? This is another one of these things we can agree on.
Play.
A second. Less time than it takes a notification to scroll across your phone screen. But that 1 second threatens to change everything. When I started telling people about this potential cure, a funny thing happened. They all instantly said the same thing. Get it. If you have the opportunity, they said, you do it. It was black and white for them.
Of course it was. I don't understand why this is so complicated for people who have been totally blind since since birth. They expect people to have empathy for them and their condition and what they go through, right? But the minute people cannot understand or even are trying to understand but are having trouble, you do not return the same empathy you wish to be given. It's automatically, "Oh, well, why don't you understand that things are not always, easy for us to, like a decision like this? Oh, it's black and white to them." Ah, stupid sighted people. That's how this feels, honestly. And this is a big problem I have with a lot of blind people that I run into, is they demand care and empathy from the sighted, but refuse to return it. And I don't understand why that's okay. I'm very much what's good for the goose is what's good for the gander. And I don't understand why, as a blind person, I should expect a sighted person to treat me with dignity and respect if I can't turn around and do the same thing for them.
Play.
Maybe that's what you're thinking right now, too. Being sighted would certainly make my life easier, so why wouldn't I do it? But me? I had questions. Questions I'd never asked myself because I never had to. I've always been this loud and proud blind girl, so what did it mean that even just for a second, I seriously considered trading that in? Blindness is not my identity, but I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a major part of who I am. If you eliminated that, then who would I be?
Pause.
You would be Annie, who could see and was learning to see again. That's who you would be. You just said that blindness was not your identity. Fine. But you'd be lying if you didn't say it was a huge part of who you are. Fine. But if blindness is not your identity, then why would you even ask that question? Like, I've thought about getting my sight back. Like, if I was given the opportunity right now, if somebody said, "Hey, blind press, we have gone and harvested some epithelial cells or skin cell or stem cells from you," not epithelial, that's skin. If we've harvested some stem cells from you, we're gonna grow you a pair of eyes and a pair of retinas, and we have found a kick-ass brain surgeon who specializes in very delicate micro, nerve surgery, and he's going to reattach those eyes to your optic nerves, and then we're going to put you through a whole bunch of rehab and everything like that. The questions I would be asking would be very different than who would I be after that? Because I have many things that make me me, and blindness, quite honestly, is a minuscule part of that. It's not as big a part of me as you would think. Now, I'm not sure if that's just how I was raised, but this is another contradictory statement here. Because if it's not your identity, then why would you ask who would you be if you lost the blind part of you?
Play.
Would I change completely? Would pulling that one thread be enough to make the whole sweater, the tapestry of my life, unravel? Not to mention the more practical questions like, how would I learn to read again? Would I have to learn to recognize objects by sight the same way a baby does? Wait. Okay, I thought this was supposed to be easier.
Pause.
No. Nobody said easier. What the Who said that would be easier? Did anyone in the Luxturna article say, this is an easy cure for blindness? Where did easier come into this factor? Nobody mentioned easier. And you would have to learn how to read, and you would learn how to read the same way a sighted kid learns how to read. And yes, you would have to learn to recognize objects by sight like a baby. It's called rehabilitation. Did you really think that getting that gene therapy would just be like, oh, okay, you're good? I'm
Play.
We have training for people who lose their sight, but what training do we have for those who suddenly gain it? And what if I hate being sighted? Imagine living your whole life in black and white, and then suddenly, one day, bam! HD full color. What if I get...
Pause.
That's not how that works. Your brain would shock. You don't just bam full. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my. Did you even do any research before you made this talk and talked about, like, no self-respecting doctor is going to restore somebody's vision. And first of all, vision does not just come back like a light switch. I'm sorry, honey, that's not how it works. And second of all, no doctor is going to give you your vision back and then just be like, okay, off you go. Because your brain will overload. Oh my god. Oh my god. These analogies.
Play.
overwhelmed. It's not like I can exactly turn it off once I get sight. I could imagine that customer service phone call. Hi, yes, I just recently purchased sight from your company for about $900,000. Yeah, I was actually wondering if the warranty was still valid. I've decided I'm not satisfied with the product after all, and I'd like to return it for a full refund, please. Hello?
Pause.
Yeah, honey. That's why you get slowly reacclimated. They don't just give you your sight back and then turn you loose. Holy crap. Wow. Okay, don't name call. Don't name call. Don't name call. Don't name call. That's rude. Don't be rude. Move on.
Play.
Finally, what about the big picture? What does eliminating blindness mean for the world? Well, it means a whole lot more of you sighted people running around, obviously.
Whoa, whoa, lady. Um, lady, lady. Um, you know that there's only about a small country's worth of blind people on the entire planet right now, right? Also, you know that Luxturna does not eliminate all blindness, right? And that was the only example you've used. And holy crap. Holy crap, way to let your prejudice show there, lady.
Play.
But would we never have another Homer? Stevie Wonder? Helen Keller? If Homer had been able to see, would he have found it necessary to describe mythological creatures in such vivid detail? If those three accomplished individuals hadn't dealt with the challenges of blindness, would they have become the creators and innovators they turned out to be?
Pause.
We don't know. We don't know. But you cannot say that the blindness that made them a brilliant musician or a brilliant author, like, no. I'm sorry. That's not how that works. Because there are plenty of blind people in on this planet who have nothing to contribute. Just like there are plenty of sighted people on this planet who have nothing to contribute. The fact that your eyes don't work does not make you a creative genius. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No. The fact that your eyes don't work does not make your brain work better. Ugh.
Play.
If blindness were eliminated before I was born, would there even be a me?
Pause.
Did you just make a eugenics argument? Did you just say that if blindness had been eliminated before you were born, that you might not have been born? Or maybe they might have been able to find a way to correct that genetic problem in the womb and you still would have been born perfectly fine. Are you saying, is this an argument for don't try and cure things because eugenics? Because that's what that sounds like.
Play.
I was hired by my current employer during a hiring freeze through a program designed to employ more blind people within the organization. And everyone I worked with knew it. Most of them didn't care, but I did. I worried that if I screwed up even just one thing, people would realize that I didn't belong and that they were right about blind people after all.
Pause.
Yes, because sighted people never screw up anything. Ever. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Do you enjoy it up there on that cross? Is that cross inscribed with the names of all blind people? Are you carrying it for us or just for yourself? Holy moly.
Play.
I mean, I was literally hired because I'm blind. And for a long time, I was ashamed of that. Ashamed of the fact that I had to resort to a blindness program.
You
Pause.
mean you were ashamed that you weren't hired based on your merits? You were hired because of a physical trait? You should be. I understand that it's hard for blind people to get employed. I understand our employment rate is stupidly low. But giving a blind person a job because they have no working vision? What if they're shit at that job? But they're blind, so they have to have that job. Why is that okay? I don't think it's okay. If I show up and I get a job because I'm blind, but I suck at that job and I have no business being there, and my employer knows it, and I know it, and everyone else in the office or wherever the hell I happen to be employed knows it, but they can't do anything about it, how on earth is that a good working environment for anyone? You should be ashamed that you weren't hired based on your merits. Because you know what? For all of the ditzy, ridiculous, contradictory crap that you have been spouting in this TEDx talk, you seem like you could be pretty organized. You seem like you could have your shit together, and you seem like you could do some pretty good work in marketing somewhere, maybe. And you probably could get hired on those merits. Just saying.
Play.
To get a job. Me, who had done everything the way you're, quote, supposed to. Worked hard, got good grades, finished college. Before I graduated, I thought that if I could just be smart enough, or witty enough, or likable enough, I wouldn't have to face the struggles that other blind people were facing. I thought I was the exception to the rule. I wasn't. Because as I quickly realized, it wasn't about how smart or funny or likable I am. It was about other people's perceptions of me. About the tendency to confuse difference with wrong and blinds with incompetent.
Pause.
Okay. Do you know why people associate different with wrong? And this is not a justification. This is a reason. Because in long ago time, different was maybe something that could kill you. But now we are getting over that. I am not saying that we are over that by any stretch of the imagination. But to sit here and say that you thought you were, going to be the exception to the rule. I know plenty of blind people who worked really hard and graduated from college and had a hard time being employed by, employers. So you know what they did? Instead of taking advantage of, taking advantage of these blindness programs, as even you called them, and being hired just because you can't see, you know what they did? They went into business for themselves. They became their own boss. And they bought themselves a house. And they have a life and an independent life. And they make damn good money. And there are a lot of blind people I know that are doing. My piano teacher was one of them. She got herself a studio at a very prestigious school. And she worked for herself, and all she had to do was pay studio fees. Everybody in that school worked for themselves and paid studio fees. She was the only blind one. You go into business for yourself if you don't get a job. You find ways. That's moving on.
Play.
Now, I tell everyone who will listen that my employer hired me because I'm blind, not despite it. Because you know what? I'm starting to think they have the right idea. The truth is, everybody struggles. But no one tells short people who can't reach the top shelf that they need to stretch themselves taller. Instead, they get stepladders. No one tells women that to make our lives easier, we should, probably just all go ahead and become men.
Pause.
What the fuck are you talking about, lady? Are you about to say that people are telling blind people to start seeing again? Let's let you finish and we'll see.
Play.
Instead, we continue to fight for equality every day. So why then is it acceptable to tell blind people that if the opportunity arises, we should all just become sighted?
Pause.
Because blindness, I'm going to say this really slowly for those of you in the back, is not a normal physical attribute. Okay? Blindness is a disability. I'm sorry. That is the reality of the situation. So if there ever becomes an opportunity for that disability to be reversed and a couple of people wish to avail themselves of that, that's okay. And if able-bodied people find out about that opportunity and they in a very friendly manner say, "Oh, you should get that." That's not them saying, "You dirty disabled person, you had better get that disability reversed." They're saying, "Hey, you've mentioned several things that you say make your life hard. Here's this opportunity. Have you considered it?" You straw-manning crazy person. I take everything nice back that I said about you. Holy crap. Are you kidding me right now? Are you saying somebody in a friendly manner saying, "Hey, if you ever have the opportunity to get your sight back, you should take it"? Are you really saying that that is a command? That is a subliminal order? That is a subliminal wish from all sighted people to eradicate blindness from the planet? Holy fuck.
Play.
Why isn't blindness embraced, accommodated for, as just one of the many things that makes us unique?
Pause.
Excuse you? Why isn't blindness accommodated for?
2:12 p.m. Wednesday. 2:12 p.m. 2:12 p.m. 2:12 p.m. 2:12 p.m. Wednesday. Phone. Lock. Flashlight. Lock. Phone. Wednesday. 2:12 p.m. Wednesday. Phone. Try again.
I rest my case.
Play.
I'm not saying staying blind is the answer for everyone, nor that we should stop looking for cures. I'm well aware of my blind privilege, if you will, that growing up in the United States has afforded me chances that some blind people will never have.
Yes, flagellate yourself. Flagellate yourself, you evil Western blind lady who has received education in Braille and, terrible, terrible.
Play.
But despite living in a world where my blindness makes me less than, I don't want to change it. Maybe being sighted would make my life easier, but easier isn't always better.
Pop.
Your blindness never made you less than. Your attitude, maybe.
Play.
I shouldn't have to remold myself to fit someone else's definition of success. I don't want to change for the world. I want the world to change for me.
Pause.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the problem with the world today. They want the world to change for them. Well, guess what? You are not the only person on the world's surface. So guess what? The world isn't going to change specifically for you or for me or for the next door neighbor, because the world is full of individuals. That's why the individuals need to learn to work together instead of, I want the world to change for me. No, I want the world to change for me. No, I want the world to change for me. And then the world is ripped apart because everybody has different wants. Oh my God. You must be like 20. Seriously.
Play. K. Play.
So that we in turn can continue leaving our mark on the world. Because vision doesn't require sight.
Pause.
Oh God. Oh God. Vision doesn't require sight. Oh Lord. I love those puns. I really do. And with that, we have thankfully made our way through this remainder of the TED Talk at a whopping 36 minutes. Thank you for all of your patience. Oh my God. This is what I meant by anger, confusion, and contradiction. This poor woman, I don't think she knows what she wants. I really don't. And I have to say, if you stuck with this till the end, you are amazing, and I thank you. And I'm sorry. And with that, thank you for watching, my friends, and I will catch you in next week's video.